Guess one. Show on stream. Hello, Duncan. Can you hear us?
Hey, I can hear you.
Hooray! We got it
Hey!
working.
Now,
Fantastic.
nobody touch nothing.
Yeah, everyone,
Well done,
leave
team.
everything alone.
Sit on your hands.
Hello. How? First of all, Duncan, it has been since July since we've last seen you for GriffCon. How have you been?
I have been very busy. There's been a lot of stuff going off, and I've been getting used to being a married man as well. Because when I went to GriffCon, I'd literally just come back off my honeymoon the day before.
Oh yeah, I remember. I actually remember. Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty much got used to it, I think.
Do you not notice the ring anymore?
Yeah, basically, I just about got used to it. It no longer feels strange when it's clicking on the gear stick, when I'm driving.
Yep.
Well, I bet you didn't do what I did on my honeymoon. I nearly lost my ring on the first day of the honeymoon.
Let's not talk about things we shouldn't have done on the honeymoon, okay, guys?
Oh right.
I went and got my.
Oh, now I want to know.
Yeah, I went and got my PADI open water diver certification on my honeymoon, which meant I was away from the ex-wife at the now for 4 days. But that should have been a red flag, really.
Well, I'll say nothing. If I'm a bit sniffly during this, I do apologise. I've caught a bug at some point during.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah,
same here.
Yeah.
That's fine. We're all in the same boat.
And I'm here sandwiched between the two of you, so I've got no chance.
You're wearing the Nurgle shirt today, right?
Yeah.
Your time will come.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's the one spreading it. He's the carrier.
Patient zero.
Yeah.
Papa spreads his love.
Right, no. Okay. Right, so this is a special edition of Shop Talk this week because we've been trying to line Duncan up now for a couple of weeks, but as Duncan has alluded to, he's been very, very busy.
Yeah, understandably so.
I can't possibly think why. Apparently, he had to go to somewhere where there's a miniature Eiffel Tower. Before we go into the main reason why we invited you on for a talk, let's actually go over LVO. How was it?
LVO was one crazy experience. It's I don't think anything can prepare you for Vegas itself, where it's all set. And it just, everything's massive. And so even the show, of course, is massive. So, I've been to Adepticon before and I've been to Nova. But the convention hall in Vegas, so it was in the Rio Hotel, and it was just huge. From my room, it would take me 20 minutes to walk across the hotel to get to where my painting demos were. You can't get your head around how big this.
It doesn't take me 20 minutes to walk from my house to the shop.
No.
So it's just corridors.
Corridors. A lot of people here have probably been to Salute or the London Excel Centre. bigger?
Oh,
yeah, I think so.
And I don't mean their half hall they use. I meant the big, if they would use all of it.
It's like, yeah, it's, you must have seen hotels, there's the meeting rooms in all hotels and stuff.
Yeah.
If you imagine one of those, but the sort of Salute gaming hall size, or, display hall size, it's that sort of thing. All these massive convention rooms. They've got these little temporary walls that they can set up if they want, but when they open it all up, what you've got is just this enormous room. And I think there was 4 of them that all the tournaments were going off in. If I remember right, for Age of Sigmar, there was 320 players or something, just for Age of Sigmar. 40k, an enormous amount. Apparently, there were 5,000 people attending. I could believe it. It just went on and on and on. Nothing quite prepares you for it because you've got to walk through the hotel floor to get there. And of course, it's Vegas, so it's a casino. So you literally walk through a casino and all these restaurants to get to it. And so this was at the Rio, which is not actually on the strip itself. So it's sort of around the back, but it's still huge. And then when you look at the strip as well, all of that is again just crazy and huge. So nothing that really prepares you for it. And after a few days of it, you're like, this. I'm just overwhelmed by the sheer stuff, the sheer size of stuff. You know, when you start looking around for the first time, it's like, this is crazy. Like you say, miniature Eiffel Tower. And you see the Paris themed casino. This Eiffel Tower is built on top of it. There's a restaurant in it, so it's not just like a plastic theme.
Right. Okay.
It's like an Eiffel Tower, and then the feet of it go into the floor, into the lobby where the casino is. So if you're in the casino for it, these big like steel girder feet come down through the ceiling of these big plinths and stuff. So and when you're there for like half a day, you're just like, what is this? And then after half a day, you're like, oh, there's a roller coaster on top of a massive building.
It's just what you
really
expect to see after a half a day.
Yeah. It's like, you know, you look at if you look at a red, then you look at a bright red, and then you go back to the red. It doesn't look red anymore. That's kind of like
Right, got you. Yeah.
Lots to get. You just your perception gets all warped.
Yeah.
But going to the show itself, that was really cool. Like I say, it was massive. Everyone was there for a good time. I think there was a particular excitement going on because, as I understand it, it was the first one to happen since all the COVID lockdowns. So everyone was just really excited to be back together, and it just felt normal, or as normal as could be in Vegas. You know, everyone just having a good time.
Yeah.
People had cool armies and were having fun playing these games, and there's every sort of game you can think of represented there. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Quite the adventure.
Were you there as any official capacity?
Yeah, so we got invited over. So Frontline Gaming Network, the people who run it, so their man Kicker, he got in touch with us last year, almost a year ago to the day actually. I think about it, and they asked us to do some painting demos, and we just arranged with them, you know, what sort of thing we can do, and we ended up doing 4 painting seminars. And at the same time, they just asked if I'd help out with some judging and do a little, you know, some recorded bits, some sound bites and stuff going around the thing. They said I could play in the Ice and Fire tournament too. So it was very, it was a lovely invitational. It was very back and forth, and they really did look after us. Had a great time. Absolutely exhausting, as you might expect these shows to be.
Yeah.
Actually,
I've never been to Las Vegas, so I don't.
No.
It never stops, does it? Like from what I see from movies, it just literally it's 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So was the convention 24 hours a day?
No, this one wasn't. It would close at I think it was 8:30 at night. When it shut for the night.
Oh my god, that's relatively early for Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, I've done some of the big London conventions.
I know Adepticon that does go 24 hours,
yeah.
And there are games that go on through the night. There's a shop that's open for the entire convention and never closes and things. But yeah, this one did shut overnight. But then, of course, everyone's going through to the casino area and stuff, and there's all shows on and things, so people are all enjoying that. But you're right, it doesn't sleep. The lights are constant, and from our room, my room, I could see the strip, and it just lit up. You know, at night it was brighter than it was during the day. Nothing really prepares you just for the scale of it, because you see these hotels in the movies. You know, like at the end of
Ocean's 11, yeah,
we're standing in front of that fountain. So we saw that, and it was during the daytime we saw it. So we didn't have all the lights on it and things, but the water goes so high. Like when the jet, it plays along to music and stuff, which blares out. And this thing, it takes you about 5-10 minutes to walk across the front of it. And the water goes up so high that there's like a thunderclap when the jets fire it up. It's like boom, is these massive streams, and they they go, it's like stories high, and then it comes crashing down, of course. So the whole thing is just a constant assault on your senses, and that's just one of them. It just keeps on going.
And they're apparently worried about climate change.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite funny when you do like the 24-hour conventions, because I think I attended Gen Con in London once, and it was at the Hilton, and it was done from like the Friday to the Sunday, and it was a 24-hour thing. And like some people, they just go, they don't even like book hotel rooms and that, and you see like people's feet poking out from under tables at 2 o'clock in the morning because they literally just crawled under a table to get some sleep.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm playing here. Move.
What was a shocker though was how expensive it was to be there. So Roger, I went with Roger who I worked with, and he'd been before, and he remembered that there's all these incredibly fancy restaurants, like Gordon Ramsay restaurants. We saw 6 maybe in every Caesar's-owned casino. There was a Gordon Ramsay restaurant, and there was a steakhouse, and one of the steaks was $185, I think it was. The exchange rate at the moment is near 1 to 1, so you're looking at about £170 for a steak. So there's a lot of restaurants like that, but then he knew that there's also cheap places, that would be a more buffet sort of thing. So
go to Wendy's.
You go to Wendy's, which I couldn't find any. the cheapest place was also simultaneously the best place. Was going to Cheesecake Factory in the Caesars. They got a shopping mall called the Forum, which is like. If anyone's ever been to Meadowhall, imagine that made of marble with statues and fountains and spiral staircases and escalators and things. Like mind blowing. But that was, I think it was $20 for a burger for a meal. But then if you wanted to have a drink, you're looking minimum $9. So you're looking at £8.50 for a beer.
Well, for Vegas, that's probably all right then.
Exactly, yeah. So and evidently this has changed quite a bit since before all lockdowns and things. So the feel of it's changed a little bit. So if you plan to go there for a week on holiday, be careful. The food was a lot of money. So so we can now look at reflection. Okay, so it cost us that much to do that show. Right.
Yeah, last time Mrs. G went, because she goes to Vegas and that quite regularly with her friends. Consequently, I've never been invited. But her friends went to a steakhouse because they were like, oh, we want to have steak. And I think they came away with like a $500 bill between three of them. Mrs. G was like, she kind of knew this at going in and was like, you know what, you guys go ahead. I'm going to go get some street food. And she just walked down the street and just got like a hot dog cart or something.
Which probably still costs her $15.
Yeah, but not 500.
I would recommend anyone to see it because it's quite an experience. I wouldn't recommend going for a week's holiday because you'd bankrupt yourself.
Right, yeah. And that's not even going into the casino.
Yeah, that's not even gambling.
I did, much to my shame, I had to go on one of the slot machines. We were waiting.
Oh, you need to?
Yeah. We're waiting to leave, and we thought, we kind of got to, right? So they had all these, ones with the handle and pull down, so we sat on those. And so Roger put in, I think it was $10, I put in $5, and we had to go. And there's no strategy to it, it's just simply like, all right, I'm going to gamble this much for having this many potential lines of things, and then off we go, and you see what you get. There's no holding or anything like that. And anyway, after a while, I got lucky and I won $27. So I was like, I'll cash that ticket. Hey. I've now made money in Vegas.
He's like, walk away.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, no one to stop. So.
Do you get the free complimentary soft drinks when you're at the slot machines? Is that a thing still?
No, we didn't.
I think you get that once you've been there a certain amount of time.
Right. Oh, that person spent $100. Let's give them a free $1 Coke.
Yeah.
They've
been there for an hour. They look like they're about to leave. Give them free stuff.
Well, they had. So the night the show ended, afterwards, there was a football game going on, the American football game, and it was a playoff to see who'd be in the Super Bowl. So they explained to me how it all works and stuff. So I dropped it out of my head. It's very complex, right? But I understand there's two leagues, and it's the winners of each league then play each other, and the winner of that wins the Super Bowl. So you've won both leagues, something
right?
Like that. And this game was going off, so it was a big deal. And they have all these sports betting bars everywhere. And imagine a cinema with all sofas and things, quite wide, and then just a wall of screens showing sports going on. You can bet on any of them, on anything. And so most of these things had this game going off, and it was quite rowdy and stuff there. And we met some of our colleagues people we work with Transatlantis Games doing the paints, and we were just basically, chatting with them, and because we're all going our separate ways. And one of them put a bet on, a $40 bet on the game, because he found out that was the minimum. If you bet $40, then drinks were on the house. And so we started having waitresses coming around, just basically offering, what would you guys like? And he's like, 5 beers, and they just bring 5 beers. So it looks like if you bet a certain amount, then you get the free drinks. But if you're just on the slots, then no, you got.
Wow, it's worth just betting just to get the free drinks in Las Vegas.
If
5 beers, $9 a beer. Well,
yeah, that's the cheap ones. Most of them are at least $12.
Right. Well, that then leads us on to a perfect segue. Thank you for dropping the Transatlantis Games name. Onto Duncan Rhodes Two Thin Coats Paints.
Mm-hmm.
Wave 2.
Wave 2.
Yeah.
Now, before we do go into it,